An update to you on the effect of COVID-19 on the city's finances and services. The COVID-19 emergency has and will continue to present many challenges. The City of Yakima is committed to protecting the health and safety of its employees and customers. We're committed to the continuity of government services and the responsible management of the city's finances. The city's current financial situation is stable, meaning that the city is able at this time to continue to provide critical public services to the community. However, the city is preparing for an expected decrease in normal revenue streams, which will likely negatively impact the city's ability to operate as it did before the current emergency. This is an update to the information which was provided to you on May 5th. We're continuing to monitor 5 budget areas: revenues, operating expenses, capital expenditures, treasury, and debt, and 2021 budget planning. In terms of revenue, we're looking at 2020 and beyond. In terms of sales tax data, which is presently available through February of this year, we're waiting for the May remittances for March actuals. Property taxes, utility taxes, and franchise fees are being monitored similarly. Lodging tax is expected to experience a large reduction. Hotel occupancy in March was 34%, which is down 36% from March 2019. Some hotels are currently closed. Some of the closed hotels are planning on reopening as early as June 1st. We are awaiting a May remittance for March actuals in lodging tax as well. As lodging tax, TPA, and PFD revenues become known, a revised 2020 plan will be developed. Priorities for revenues are to pay the Convention Center and Capitol Theater debt first, then operations second, then capital project funding. Finance staff is spending considerable time communicating with FEMA program management and other city finance staff in efforts to identify expenses that qualify for reimbursement. Current FEMA and CARES Act guidelines exclude reimbursement for revenue shortfall and reimbursement for budget expenses, which seems to exclude the exact squeeze that the city currently faces. In terms of administration, we've previously mentioned that we've freezed the hiring of positions, excluding uniformed police officers, correction officers, and firefighter positions. Previously mentioned that we've canceled travel, training, and non-essential purchases. We're evaluating existing contracts for fee reductions. We're evaluating city services for overlap and redundancy. We're pursuing grant opportunities that are consistent with existing programs. We are presently continuing to evaluate recreation services for possible reductions in service. We are in the process of meeting with the labor unions to discuss opportunities for cost savings, and we are deferring fleet and equipment replacement where possible. The police department update. The police department has witnessed a decrease in calls to 911 of almost 35%. In terms of the fire department, our fire inspectors are transitioning back to conducting limited fire inspections in occupancies where it's safe to do so. These inspectors may consider virtual inspections if the occupants have the capability, such as small home or small in-home daycares. We have ordered 2 autoclaves for decontamination of department apparatus and facilities. The MOU on vacation cancellation has expired. In terms of Suncom, we have some call numbers from February 29 to April 30. Total EMS calls would be 1,426, which exceeds the previous year's total of 1,226. COVID confirmed presumed related EMS calls equal 30. Calls for service that include symptoms of COVID to include difficulty of breathing and other symptoms. A single symptom call was not counted, only multi-symptom calls. We had 620 calls in 2020 for that period of time, which was 43% of our calls, which exceeds the 333 calls over the same time period in the previous year, which was 27% of the total calls at that time. Skipping forward to parks, recreation staff has been working in assisting park maintenance and with irrigation and repairs and renovation of Field 3 at Chesterley Park. Harmon Center staff have been assisting with facility maintenance at the Harmon Center, pressure washing the outsides of the building, doing lawn and landscaping maintenance. They've also been calling and reaching out to the seniors to check up on them, kind of a care call. People for People continues to provide frozen meals for pickup out of the Harmon Center. They're providing approximately 190 meals per week through the Harmon Center drive-through pickup. The recreation leader has scanned all of the Parks and Recreation Commission meetings, making them searchable online. Recreation staff members have also helped with field maintenance, overseeding and aeration and fertilizing of park areas throughout the facility. Areas on Natchez Parkway that had bare spots were also aerated, reseeded, and fertilized with the support of our recreation staff. Staff also finalized restroom and swimming pool opening protocols, and we're actively working with the health district representatives so the facilities are ready to open when allowed under the governor's phased opening guidelines under phase 3. We'll continue to update you on that issue as more information becomes available. In terms of community development, building maintenance is measuring and requesting quotes to have plexiglass installed at the community development and engineering service counters. In terms of human resources, the civil service team has made significant modifications to the onboarding, recruitment, and testing processes. They've implemented new electronic testing options. A candidate confidentiality agreement was developed, and scores are being electronically processed following the examination. And the oral board exams are being facilitated and proctored using a developed matrix and Zoom meeting with the chief examiner, the HR proctor and facilitator, candidates, and multiple board members and assessors, all participating from remote locations. New onboarding for newly hired employees will all be done electronically. Personnel action forms will be processed electronically. An electronic evaluation program for current employees is currently continuing to be rolled out. The City of Yakima University trainer is developing a CPR program that will provide appropriate training for city employees while still adhering to the emergency declarations. The city's wellness committee has canceled the annual picnic originally scheduled for June, but is continually searching for ways to keep employees engaged in healthy activities. The finance department has not noticed an increase in late or delinquent utility accounts as of Friday of last week, and finance staff members continue to focus on revenue forecasting in collaboration with other cities' financial staff. In terms of information technology, the city has seen a significant increase of network, email, and phone traffic during the pandemic, averaging 100,000 more emails per month system-wide and 10,000 to 12,000 more phone calls per month as we shift to online and remote services. In terms of the airport, Alaska Air has implemented new products and processes to inspire confidence throughout the travel process for all their guests, beginning with the airport experience. Part of the process, they've installed floor decals reminding airport guests and passengers to mind their wingspan while following social distancing protocols in the airport. Passenger traffic nationwide remains 95% below 2019 levels and continues to require airlines to adjust their flight schedules. Given these factors, beginning on May 3rd through May 31st, Alaska Airlines has modified the Yakima Airport schedule to a 6 a.m. departure to Wenatchee, where the aircraft receives additional passengers and then departs to Seattle. Yakima will witness a similar return route from Seattle to Wenatchee, and that flight arrives at 7 p.m. So we have adjusted the terminal building hours to accommodate passenger activities, and the terminal remains open during normal business hours. Airport staff is coordinating 3 capital improvement projects. As the governor reopens the state's economy through a phased approach, these projects include replacement of the airport's fuel tanks, replacement of a portion of the terminal's roof to prevent future roof leaks, and the airport's $1.4 million rehabilitation project on the primary runway. The FAA has notified the city of the CARES Act grant agreement, which is to be administered post-haste. Passenger activity appears to be slowly recovering from the lowest point on April 14th, where only 87,000 passengers traversed the nation's security checkpoints. On May 11th, those numbers had increased to 216,000 passengers as some states begin to lift travel restrictions. In terms of the city clerk, public records requests are being processed in compliance with the governor's orders. And this concludes my overview this evening. Thank you.